Do you remember your first film? The thrilling sensation, the joy of the moving pictures? Today, in our world, everything looks different. It's too sharp, too bright colors, too crisp, and the contrast. I miss the old films with imperfections, grain, like a real film you felt attracted to and got deeply bound with the message in the story. As an amateur filmmaker, I sometimes struggle with color grading. Late night hours sitting deep in the night to try to achieve those filmic look. Sometimes it's very frustrating. But then, out of the nowhere, I got an Instagram message from the team of Dehancer. They asked me to test their plugin for film emulation for DaVinci Resolve, and I said yes, cause it benefits me and will help me a lot to understand more of color grading and how to work with colors and achieve this filmic look. And I said yes, no money was exchanged. It's barely an honest opinion on my own for this new plugin. Okay, the first thing is, when I started Dehancer the first time, I was completely overwhelmed because you have so many options and so many things. But after a few research and reading the manual, you get used to it, and it's so, with just a few adjustments, it looks totally different and it's super cool and has so much potential and it's so accurate, it's crazy. So yeah, I really like it. It just took me 5 days around, maybe less, maybe a bit more, to get used to the program and how I get used to it, find the right proportion. The thing is, when you start it and activate the plugin, it's just too much. So you get those green, tinty, grainy pictures, so that's a negative point. Cool thing is how easy you can set up. You can just go to your preferences, pick out the camera you use or what system you're shooting, and just put all your informations in there, and boom, you have a nice picture without even tweaking a knob or something else. It just comes in a great performance, and you have tons of options. You can play with the grain, the vignette, gate breath, and all the different things. It comes very handy when you get used to it, and it's a very powerful tool. Another cool thing is that you don't need everything you see on the page to make your clips look like film. You can just use the print just a standalone or just the film version. You don't need everything to take on and move it to the clip. It's just, you can use it standalone. So you say your clip is really good looking, and you say you want just give it a little bit more touch, grain, vignette or something. It's totally okay and it looks super good. So sometimes you just need a spot of color and that's it. But you can also, it depends on your creation style and what you film. So it's really cool that you have the feature and you have the big freedom and the big palette of all those filmic looks and things. Yeah, that's a big plus. And yeah, so now I can show you what I meant with you just don't need everything to set. So you just can go to single options, give my preferred camera on. So, and just I have the standard presets in here and have my picture, and it's now graded. So I can play around just with the composition, or say, okay, I want the Kodak vision. or can just say, okay, I go just to the Rec 709, make difference, or say, okay, I just only want the print. And it's look a bit cold, but for your style, what the kind of film you make, it depends. And so you can adjust just one single layer, just like you only want to adjust the film and leave the rest out. You can do it. It's super simple, and even one of those layers can make a huge difference. So you can just play around. You make it fully grainy, or say, okay, I just want just a bit grain, or just make the profile linear and just play around. You have so many options there, so feel free, test it out. So even you can just say, okay, I have a Sony camera, but I chose not Sony. I say I go to DJI with the DJI Action 2 and say it's filmed by a drone, so it's all your freedom. And that's the cool thing about you can just have different preferences, or say, oh, I want more film breadth or less gate weave, everything, the vignette. That's the cool thing about Dehancer. You have absolutely the power of freedom to do every single option, and I think that's what can be a problem. It's overwhelming because you have so much options. One thing I like to see in the future, for me as an FPV pilot, I used to film all my stuff with a GoPro on top of my FPV drone. So my wish for the future, if it's possible, to add the GoPro into the Dehancer plugin, so you can grade and give FPV footage a filmic look. And I'm really interested in how that looks, because it must be so awesome to see an FPV footage graded with film, cast. Not everyone can afford a Blackmagic Pocket or a big camera strapped on an FPV drone. It's risky and it's expensive, and when you crash. So I stick with the GoPro. That would be really nice to see that the GoPro footage can be emulated in film, because I see DJI is inside with the Osmo Action 2. That's really cool, but I don't have an Osmo Action, so maybe in the future you see a GoPro profile in there. Would be awesome, Dehancer. Yeah. So on top of it, there is an Dehancer app where you can do like nearly exact the same like on the Dehancer plugin in DaVinci Resolve. So I have a clip before and after, and you have like the same tools in there, but it's on a smartphone. But I have to say, I'm not a big fan of editing on a smartphone, because it's really tiny and you see not all things are clear, and it's all a bit tiny, and with the fingers, yeah, it's not really my type of editing style. And people who like editing on their phone on the way to go, like in a train, bus, or in the plane, it's cool for them, but I don't really like it. I just need a big screen and I need more functionality, so I don't really like to edit on my phone. So the app is for people who just like them, and yeah, totally functional, everything. You can just upload it to any social media or on your phone. But yeah, that's for the app. So if you want to try the Dehancer plugin with my code MWO, you get a discount. Link is in the bio. And yeah, just think about it, and I will recommend. So just test it out. There is a trial version, just test it out, and when you're safe and you think, okay, I need it, it helps my workflow and it's best for me, then buy it, do it. I mean, it helped me a lot with color grading, understanding how film works and how film really looks. So yeah, that's from me, and I wish you a good one. Peace out.